Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Braxus Photography Fun. After a lot of debating and research and cost discrepancies, that kind of thing, I've decided to get into developing my own black and white film again. I used to do this back in my school days, both in high school and in college. Typical developer we used back then was D76, and I had some pretty good results with those developers at the time. My films back in those days were both Ilford and Kodak. We used to use T-Max 100 quite often in college, and in high school it was Ilford's FP4 and HP5. Anyway, been doing a lot of research on the websites and checking a couple retailers both in Canada and the States. Got up a small little list of some items that I need to get into developing film again. I am looking into basically getting items for all sizes of film that I use: 35mm, 120, 4x5 and 8x10. There's a local person here in BC in the Fraser Valley that is willing to sell a few items to me, so I'm looking into getting that from him. And also for the items that I can't get, both photo in Vancouver or freestyle in the US will be my other options to get the remaining items that I'd still need. Now, what I'm planning to do is get a Patterson 2-reel and a 3-reel tank with the reels included, and also getting an 8x10 paper developer tank to do that size. For 4x5, I'll be using the 3-reel Patterson tank and using a B2 insert, which allows for 6 sheets of 4x5 film, and basically go from there. My developer of choice is Xtol, just because I've got past experience with that developer and I really like the results from that developer with all the films that I've used. It's a fine grain developer. It works at box speed for films, and it's just a safer developer to use as well. It's not as caustic as some developers are, and just it's just the perfect option for me. I always liked the results I got from Xtol with the films I'd used in the past, and Xtol was used in one of the photolabs that I had used over the years, so it was a no-brainer to go with that choice. I had many people swaying me to other developers, of course, starting with D76 to Rodinal and some other developers as well, but I don't feel I need to use those other developers. Xtol always did what it was good for me to use, and basically I will just continue to use Xtol. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the stuff that I'm getting, and we'll do my first roll of developing in probably 27-28 years. Hi guys, I just got back from meeting Matt on the APUG forum. He was generous enough to get me some stuff to get me started in film developing, and basically didn't get this all for very much money, which is really very generous of him actually. So let's take a look and see what we got here. So this is all that I received for today. What we've got to start out with is 1,000 milliliter and a 500 milliliter jugs. That's for mixing chemicals in and pouring into the Patterson tank. Speaking of Patterson tanks, we have two, 1 and 2. Basically I have 3 reels between the two of them. One has 1 reel and the other one has 2 reels inside of it, so that should be plenty to get me going. We also have an 8x10 film developer. It also accepts 4x5. And in the bag we have quite a few small little things. We've got some more hanger clips for hanging film. We've got a Kodak thermometer for measuring the temperature of the chemicals. We have some syringe type units that are for measuring small amounts of chemicals. We've got another hanger for film developing, and there's another little container for measuring, and that's pretty good with that. And finally, we've got a mixing stick and a little hanger for hanging in the bathtub to dry the films with. So that's pretty good to get me started. All I need is just a few other items and basically get some chemicals, and I'm be on my way. Well, here's my first experiment. I basically got some of the materials and equipment to do my own home developing of films, of black and white specifically. And I'll show you what I've got here. One is a Patterson tank. This one holds 2 reels. It should also be set up for 120 as well when I do those rolls. And to start out with, I'm going to be shooting some Efke 25, and we'll get this one developed and we'll see how the results turn out. So here's my big foray back into developing my own films. So this should be fun. Hi guys, a little bit of change of plans. I'm basically getting some Xtol for the 5-liter mixes, and I'll be mixing that up, and I'm ready to start doing some developing of some film. Another change of things, I'm actually recording this on a Canon 90D camera now. I sold off my D800 camera, so I'm switching up to 4K recording now. Anyway, let's take a look at the process of developing film. I heated up this water in the microwave for 4 minutes. I'm not sure that's the best way of doing it, but it is a quick method. Just mixing up the Xtol now. I've got part A of Xtol. Filled up a wine bag with the Xtol, so now we're ready to do some developing once this cools down. So I've got my dirt bag and my Patterson 2 tank reel developing tank. I've got a can opener for the one roll of film that I don't have out of the reel. Some scissors to trim it off, and can opener for ready to go. So let's get this rolled up and in the tank. Well, I've got all my chemicals mixed up, the fixer, stop bath, my developer, and I'm using a pre-rinse on these films. I'm just waiting for the developer to cool down in temperature, as it was quite warm when I mixed it in the Xtol, so I'm just waiting for it to cool down, and then we should be ready to go. Okay. So I got my gloves on. The temperature of the developer has gone down to 68-70 degrees Fahrenheit. I got my clips, my other chemicals are ready to go. The film is loaded in the container. And I'm just gonna get my cell phone going so I can use the timer, and we should be good to get some developing done here. The film I'm using in this container is Forte 400. I've also got JNC Classic 400, which is the same film. And I'm putting them both in the same container, same developing times at 12 minutes and Xtol straight. And we should be ready to go here. So let's get on with it. I will be doing 10-second inversions every minute. Basically, instead of the 5 seconds every 30 seconds, I'll just do the 10 seconds every minute. Make it a little easier, and we should be okay to go. Time is currently 1.5 minutes. Got my stop in. Moment of truth to see if this actually worked for my first time in 24 years. We have images. Very good. And that pretty much concludes the developing stage. We just let it rinse for about 15 or so minutes. And we'll see what she looks like when we hang them up. Well, it seems we got some success. The negatives look pretty good. And the developing time of 12 minutes for Xtol seemed to be about correct. Got some good dense negatives, but not overly dense. The unexposed areas do seem a little darker than normal, so I'm not sure what that means, but other than that, it seems to be pretty good from what I can see here. So after my preliminary tests seemed to be successful in trying out the chemicals and that kind of thing, and here they are hanging in the back, I decided to develop my roll of Efke 25, which was planned for the original testing of developing at home. So now we'll get on to developing Efke 25, and I'll show you the results from the film when it's done. For Efke 25, I will be doing a pre-rinse, so that is the first thing we'll do on our list. And I didn't notice this before, but Efke, when you do a pre-rinse, it comes out blue in the tank. Efke 25 is a soft emulsion, so sometimes using a stop bath can leave pinholes in the emulsion, but I've had Xtol developed before in a professional lab, and they used a stop bath with that. Never had any issues, so I have no qualms about using an actual stop bath for Efke 25 on my results. So I've had my Efke 25 rinsing for about 20 minutes. I'm going to be using some photo flow in the rinse in the last few seconds. So I'll stop the rinsing now, and so that's poured out. Pour in my photo flow. Bit of a twirl to mix it all around and get it all in all the corners of the film. And let's take a look at the results. The names look pretty good. Negatives are a little denser than I would like, possibly because of the temperature, or the developer may have been a little hotter than I expected it to be, but other than that, the negatives do look pretty good. And that is the Efke 25 in the center. So here is the negatives as they were developed, and of course they actually look pretty good. Maybe a little bit dense in some ways, but I mean, it is a high contrast film, this Efke 25. And I think the first roll I've developed in many decades actually turned out fairly good. And I'm quite impressed, so I'll be doing this some more, and of course it'll save me some money as well. Well, everything seems to have gone well. I developed my first few rolls in Xtol straight, and everything mixed up fine. I also did several other rolls during the last period of a week since I made up the developer. I did a total of 8 rolls during the week actually, so Efke 25 wasn't the only roll that I did. I did some Forte 400, some JNC Classic 400, Tri-X, and a few other rolls. Varichrome Pan, I believe, was another one, and so on and so forth. Anyway, basically, it was a little bit interesting getting back into developing film again after 27 years. I said 24 earlier, it's actually 27. And few things in the learning curve. I learned that I had to fix the films a little bit longer than I thought. I initially started at 6 minutes and ended up working towards 8 minutes eventually to have the films clear a little bit better. Also found out that my stop needs to be used up fairly quickly. It doesn't last for very long at all. Basically, it's the vitamin C version of stop from Ilfo, and basically it gets moldy, that kind of thing, after sitting for a few days, so I had to dump it after a couple days worth of sitting around the house. But I managed to get 8 rolls done. That was a good thing. And Efke is the one I'm showing in this video here, Efke 25. The results looked really good, and I was happy with what I got. And let's actually take a look at the pictures from the roll of Efke 25 that I shot. Well, I hope you enjoyed those results from Efke 25. I do have other films that I can scan up and show the results of as well, if anyone is interested. And we'll see what videos I do in the future. I hope you like, subscribe, and comment on my videos, and I hope you stick around to watch the next ones as I produce them in the future. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Well, thank you for watching, and aye and goodbye. Eh?